welcome to Story and Stone. My name is Amanda. For those of you who are new here, I'm a holistic practitioner. I'm a Reiki practitioner, Australian bushflowers practitioner, holistic counsellor, and of course I am a clairvoyant and medium. I'm coming to you today with the monthly reading for July. Oh my God, July. And yeah, it's going to be a good month. We're in the middle of winter now, or we're coming into the middle of winter for July. So I hope you're all taking it a little bit easier, not trying to push ahead, even though we should be stopping and thinking about stuff. If you want to know more about what to do through the winter season this year, just go back to my winter solstice video. Okay. You can find out more about what I do or what Story and Stone is about by going to my website, which is www.storyandstone.com.au. If you are a newcomer here, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, or share this video. It helps me get seen by more people on YouTube. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I'd love it if you could follow my business Facebook page, which is Story and Stone. Okay, just a few more housekeeping. If you are a regular here, thank you for coming back. I so appreciate that so much. You do not know how much it means to me. So welcome. I'm trying to make sure that this video is not blurring and going in and out, so hopefully I've fixed it. And I just want to say that this reading is for the collective, so it may not necessarily resonate with you, and if it doesn't resonate, that's fine. Just take what does and leave the rest. The deck I'm using today is, of course, my gold foil tarot. And then I'm going to pull a card or maybe two from The Secret Language of Your Soul by Inna Segal. So, okay. Okay, now, we have a lot of wand energy this month, so quick energy, fiery energy. You'll be feeling quite passionate, maybe working on your spiritual journey, which is winter is a great time to do that, to reflect on how far you've come and whether you want to change any of your practices, that type of thing. I think it's going to be a pretty good month, actually. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so let's get into it. So for our overview, I have the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, she's the boss girl. She has it going on. She can find a good balance between work and life, family, friends, and self-care. She really is loving and generous and in touch with nature, but she just knows how to fit it all in. She is the person that I aspire to be. I'm not quite there yet, but she is who I aspire to be. She's also someone who is, she makes a really good mentor because she is so loving and warm. She can be really generous too, but she doesn't, like all the queens, they don't suffer fools, so don't try and pull the wool over her eyes. Now, you may find that you have someone, as I'm talking about this Queen of Pentacles, you may find that you have someone in your life who reminds you of that Queen of Pentacles. And if you do, that means that you may have dealings with that person. It can also be a call to go out and find someone and ask them to mentor you in whatever subject you want to be mentored in, whether that's opening a business or learning a craft, or just learning in general. if you don't have someone who reminds you of that person, then this might be the month where you're being asked to try and balance out your life a bit more. And in fact, I know that's what you're being asked of, because of cards that are coming up. So if you don't have anybody who reminds you of that Queen of Pentacles, then I think maybe this is telling you that you need to look at your life and how you run it and see where you're deficient. So do you not give yourself self-care? Do you not just take 10 minutes out in the morning to just sit and meditate or pray to whoever you believe in, whether that's God, Goddess, universe? Do you not treat yourself to those little luxuries like that beautiful dark chocolate that you love from that chocolatier? We have to practice self-care, and I really feel they're stressing this. So I'm thinking that maybe a lot of you are not giving yourself enough self-care. We also are going to have, the Four of Wands is also talking about an event. So maybe you've got a wedding coming up or some big event. So like a big birthday, like a 50th, a 60th, a 70th, or like a golden wedding anniversary or something like that. There's some event like that to attend. It could also be meetings with like-minded people. It's going to be quite a celebratory type atmosphere this month. If you remember back to my winter solstice video, I did talk about how it's good to pull back and reflect, be a little bit hermit-like, but it's also very important to stay connected. And this card is sort of saying you have opportunities this month to stay connected to the people you love, to the people who get you. And once again, I'm stressing about don't forego the meetings. So if you're in a camera club, don't forego the meetings because it's raining outside, just wear the right gear. So that's basically the overview of the month. So you're going to maybe need to find a bit of balance, need to look at how you can be more like the Queen of Pentacles, or maybe find someone who is the Queen of Pentacles and get monitoring. Yeah, they're going to put an ankle bracelet on you, monitor you. Find a Queen of Pentacles and ask for mentoring, but also stay in touch with your family, friends, and your groups. And possibly you could be attending a wedding or some big event like that. Now, sorry, I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. Now, when I come to digging down into the details, I get the Four of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Now, these cards go together quite well. First of all, the Four of Pentacles he's about not being a miser, not being a Scrooge. If you look at the picture, it's this man, he's standing on Four Pentacles, he's got one in his arms and he's got one on his head. He's protecting what he's created for himself. And this doesn't just have to stand for financial profit or financial gatherings as well. It's about your spirituality, about your emotions, it's about your relationships, it covers a whole lot of things that are in your life. This card says, yes, you have worked really hard to get to where you are. But if you all of a sudden become miserly with money, with your emotions, with your time, with your energy, then you're going to throw yourself out of that flow. And things will stop and get stagnant and you'll hit more obstacles and things like that. This card is saying to you, don't do that. Keep that flow going, give out so that you can get in. And it's really quite fitting that it comes with the Three of Wands, because the Three of Wands is about opportunities coming in for you. So on this card, we have this guy standing here with his Three of Wands, but in the background, you can see that he has boats out on the ocean. And this is saying that you have opportunities coming to you and you get to pick what opportunity you want to take advantage of. It's a really great card. It really says you're ready to take advantage of these opportunities. You're ready. You don't need to learn anymore or study anymore. You can do that as you're doing the opportunity. So this is basically saying if you start hoarding, whether that's money or time or energy or emotions, you're going to stop these opportunities from coming in. I'm going to repeat that. If you start hoarding, if you start getting a bit precious about what you have and what you've attained so far, you're going to block further opportunities from coming in. That's basically the be all and end all of this month. So, I'm not telling you to be crazy and go out and buy a whole new wardrobe or put that order in for that Range Rover Sport. I'm saying don't stop giving. So whether that's financial, emotional, energy, time, don't stop that giving, because otherwise you'll block the flow for the opportunities that are sitting right there waiting for you to take advantage of them. Okay, they're telling me this is why it's so important for you to attend the events that you've got planned for this month, because there could be an opportunity at one of those events. So make sure you go, open yourself up, don't sit in the corner or be a wallflower, mingle, talk, be interested in people, because there could be an opportunity coming through at one of those events or the event. Okay. Now, in our challenges, we have the 7 of Cups and we have the 2 of Pentacles. So let's look at the 2 of Pentacles first. So this is how come I knew that the Queen of Pentacles may have something to do with you not having enough balance in your life, because the 2 of Pentacles is all about balance. So most 2s in the tarot deck, they deal with making decisions, but they can also mean balance. And this 2 of Pentacles in particular does talk about keeping balance. Are you able to balance things? Are you taking on too much and you can't keep that balance in your life? Maybe you need to look at delegation or learning to say no in a loving way. This card is really saying that's going to be your challenge this month. And with the 4 of Wands, they're telling me that there's going to be opportunities to meet with like-minded people or family and friends, and even attend things like weddings and that. I think you're going to be quite busy. And I know I said in my previous video for winter solstice that we should really hibernate a little bit, but still stay connected. Well, I think maybe you're going to have a bit of problems with balancing that out, with spending time and reflecting about what's happening in your life and what you want to take forward and what you want to leave behind, versus going out and being sociable. So just be really aware of that. The 7 of Cups is always about making decisions. And because we have the opportunities card in the details section of the spread, I think you're going to have lots of opportunities to take into consideration and to make a decision on. Now, this card means also that some of the choices that you think you have are not very realistic. So if you've never sung a note in your life and you can't keep pitch, but you think, oh, here's my opportunity to be a singer in a band, maybe you're a little bit disillusioned with that. Maybe your goal should be to take singing lessons first and see if you can actually sing. And for the record, we can all actually sing. When we sing out of tune, it usually means that there's something in our life that's not balanced. And often in our physical bodies that's not balanced. So everybody can sing in tune. So this card is saying you have choices, But you really need to delve down into each choice and make sure that it is actually a realistic choice. Is it achievable, or is it just a pipe dream? And all the ones that are just pipe dreams at this point in time, it doesn't mean they won't ever become viable options, but at this point in time, you just need to put them to the side and just deal with the opportunities that are fairly realistic, that you have the tools and resources for, or you know where to get the tools and resources, and you have the ability to actually carry them out. So I feel like maybe you're going to have your head in the clouds and think, yes, I can be the next Maria Callas on, playing at Sydney Opera House when you haven't even been to an opera, that type of thing. So just be really mindful of any decisions that you make or any choices that you get given. Just how realistic is it that I'll be able to achieve that? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't go for things that are going to push us to learn or to push us out of our comfort zone. That's not what I'm all about. I'm on about opportunities that are going to absolutely decimate your self-esteem, because there is no hope that you can achieve them at this point in your life. Okay? So yes, do be challenged. Do push yourself out of your comfort zone. Do push yourself to do better than what you've done before. But don't absolutely decimate yourself by picking something that you've got no chance in hell of actually achieving. So they're your challenges. Okay, so now we come to the opportunities for this month. And I have the Knight of Wands and the Five of Swords. So the Knight of Wands energy, he is young, enthusiastic. He's really good at gathering support for whatever campaign he's on, whatever passion project he's doing. He's really good at getting the support from people to be able to do that. However, this personality can also tread on people's toes, not think about the other people involved in the project, and just go hell for leather, which pisses people off. So you need to be really aware that you may come up against someone who has this type of personality. They're really likable. You really love their passion and their spirit, but sometimes they don't think about things, or they don't think things through. And if you're thinking about them in terms of a romantic endeavor, they can be pretty hard to know, because they're always chasing that next passion project, and sometimes don't always stick around. I'm being told to find out what could possibly happen in a relationship, because they're on to their next project. And unfortunately, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, if you are involved in a passion project with this type of person and you think there could be a spark there, you should be very wary, because once that passion project's finished and he's on to the next, that spark will disappear, unless you've got something to contribute to the next passion project. So I feel like there may be an opportunity for you with someone who has that type of personality, going in there forewarned because you know what they're like, or it's telling you, if you have no one in your life that pops into your head as I'm talking about this, maybe they're saying you need to maybe take on a few more of these attributes, not the negative ones, but the positive ones, like getting really excited about the project that you're doing, and being really sociable and personable and approachable, so that people want to be on your side. They want to see you achieve. So that could be your opportunity, one of your opportunities for this month. The next card we have in this position of this spread is the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords it can be quite a negative card, because it's about conflict and loss, and people who win in the conflict are not necessarily always happy, or like there's no winner basically in certain conflicts, And this card usually can represent a conflict like that, where the winner takes all, but then when they think about it, they don't really have that good feeling that they've won. And that could be because they've taken from someone who they knew they could beat, and they've just done it out of spite or something like that. So your opportunity this month is to make sure that you're not that person. Don't be the ass in the room. You know, pick your fights. You can't win the war by just decimating everybody. And really, who wants war? I don't want war. I'm sick of fucking war. I wish people would just pull their head out of their asses and just fucking be nice to each other. You know, like, we're all the same. Underneath these skins, we're all the fucking same. So, but I digress. So I feel like this opportunity is for you not to get involved in conflicts. Not to start battles that you know you can win because your opposition is weaker. That's not a war. That's not a battle. That's not a conflict. That's just someone being a bully. So don't be the bully. If you are caught in a conflict and you are the loser, if you lose out, whether you lose that contract, or you lose your spot on the project, or you have friendship difficulties or relationship difficulties, or whatever it is, as the loser, I think it's important to remember that just because you've lost that conflict doesn't mean that you're going to lose every conflict. It's just one out of many. You know, and as much as I say I hate war and I don't want any battle, I just want peace, and I do just want peace, as humans, that's what we do. We have conflicts. We don't all agree with each other, and that's fine. That's what makes us a diverse population. But just there are different ways of doing it. So I feel like this opportunity card is telling you this month, just pick your battles. Don't go off your head. Don't fly off your head. Think about what you're doing. Think whether you want to be part of that conflict, if you can feel it brewing. And if you don't want to be part of that conflict, just walk away. Just do the better and the bigger thing of walking away. You know, there are some people in life, and I'm sure you've met them, that always have to have one-upmanship over everybody that they know. And it's so tiring to be around someone like that, who never ever gives 1 inch, ever. And I feel like this card is just saying, if you know someone like that, just maybe step away. You can do so in a loving way. You don't have to be an arse back, you know. But maybe just take a break from that type of thing. So your opportunities are to look out for that. Don't be egged on by someone who wants to start a fight or wants to start a debate or an argument. Just step away from them. Just do the Dalai Lama thing, you know, and just send them love, peace, harmony, and fuck off. Okay, so those plans that we were making, those things that we were thinking about, that we should be thinking about, we're starting to find that we might be able to start planning them, actually planning out the action for us to take over the next couple of months. And I think this month is going to be a pretty good month, really. As long as you can keep your balance, and as long as you don't make choices that you have no hope of ever succeeding in, because you're just setting yourself up to fail. And who wants to do that? Life is hard enough as it is. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card or two from Inna Segal's The Secret Language of Your Soul. I feel because we're in winter that we need to really look at our inner work this month. And I think we're going to be quite busy physically, so it's good to have some guidance on how we can pull back from that physicality and just go within and nurture our mind and our emotional well-being. Okay, so what guidance do you have for the collective for the month of July in regards to looking after our soul? Okay, so I've drawn 2 cards today. I'll put them up here now. I've got Express Yourself, which is cultivating your passion, which really ties into the reading that we've just done, and Ground Yourself, which is Be in Your Body. Now, I know I was just saying that we need something besides physicality, but this is talking about being present. I feel like I'm being told that part of this card is saying that you need to be present. You need to be in your body. You can't be up here, you know. A lot of when I was younger and I was really into spiritual gurus and teachers and things like that, I found that a lot of them were always up in this top part of our chakras. So our crown, our third eye, our throat, and even our heart chakra. They sat up there. The problem with that is that when you sit up in these chakras all the time and you don't pull anything down through into your solar plexus or your sacral or your root chakra, nothing ever gets manifested. Because whilst you can be up here and you can visualize and manifest or think about what you want to manifest, if you don't pull it down into your bottom 3 chakras through your heart chakra, then there will be no action. And if there is no action, there is no manifestation. Too often we are taught that you just need to think positive thoughts, or you just need to visualize or do your vision board or whatever it is, and all your dreams will come true. But it's not about that. It's about stating what you want, but then putting in the work. We still have to put in the work. The difference between just doing all the time and not really having any goal and having something that you're working towards is that it allows spirit or the universe or God or goddess to come in and push opportunities in front of you that will help you reach your goal. That's basically what this up here work is for. To let the goddess know that I want this in my life, and I'm doing this, and she can go, okay, well, you actually need to be doing this. So let's push you that way a little bit by having you meet this person who then put you onto this person or this opportunity or this class or this book. So I feel like this Ground Yourself card is really talking about being in our body, being grounded, not just working on our top chakras, but working on our bottom chakras as well. Now, I am going to read from the guidebook because this guidebook is a really good guidebook for giving. Oh, wow, these glasses are filthy. Okay. So I'm going to go with the Ground Yourself because that's what they want to talk about first. Okay, so Inna Segal writes, grounding yourself is a conscious process of befriending your body. It brings things into focus and helps clarify your thoughts, feelings, and the direction of your life. We can spend an inordinate amount of time living in our heads and very little time present in our bodies. So this is what I was just talking about with you. This disconnects the conscious self from the incarnated self and can create dissonance and discontent. Feel your feet. Are they warm or cold? Do your soles tingle? Is blood flowing freely? The more connected you are to your legs and feet, the more conscious you become of the steps you need to take to find balance. Become aware of the subtle feelings and impulses that come from connecting with your feet. They may want to take you on the most incredible journey. A fully embodied person is confident, flexible, vibrant, and discerning. They develop inner strength and solidity and appear knowledgeable and trustworthy to others. As you become more grounded, you may find those around you opening up about their secrets and issues and even asking for life advice and spiritual guidance. This is a natural consequence of living in your body. You appear present, focused, and confident, and others seek to emulate you, unconsciously craving your grounded reality. The more grounded you become, the more you uncover your karmic potential, the life you plan to live as a spirit before being incarnating. You are being asked to let go of others' expectations and ground yourself in the here and now. So going back to being present. The purpose that you are being guided towards is yours for a reason. Trust your feet to take you there safely. You are encouraged to find your own way and take the time to discover your uniqueness. Fearlessly follow where your soul is leading and explore. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the healing practice that she gives you there, but this is really coming back to wanting to bring things into reality. Okay, and we are in part of that planning stage and that working out what we want to do stage. And so this card is really good about making us present in our body, because it was either the last video or one of the weekly videos, I talked about the present being the only moment. That the past and the future are just illusions. They don't exist. Only the present exists. A really good way to if you feel like you've been working in your head a bit is to, well, number one, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch the grounding video that shows you how to ground. It's something that I do nearly every day. It helps you ground, it helps you protect, and helps you get connected so that you can go about your day and not be worried about having negative energy attached to you. But also what you can do is you can just sit in a chair with your feet firmly on the floor and just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And then I want you to start at your feet and just think about it. How are they feeling? Is there any warm spots, cold spots? Are they aching? Do they feel relaxed? And just ask yourself these questions. And if there is a cold spot on your foot, just make note of that and then breathe in. And when you breathe out, do that real big sigh and feel your feet relax, and then move on to your ankles and ask the same questions, and then work your way up. So you do your calf muscles or your calf muscles in the front of your legs, your knees, your thighs, your bum, your pelvis, your back, your stomach, your chest, your arms, your fingers, your neck, your head, and just go through and just see where you're feeling out of balance. Sometimes when I do this, I can actually feel that I'm not sitting on my pelvis straight. So I might feel like I'm doing this. And so often I will get out and I'll just give myself a real good shake, like shake everything loose, and then just try and do, is it Tadasana, which is the mountain pose in yoga, where you just sort of line up your spine, you line up your pelvis, and you, keeping a soft knee, just sort of stand firmly but straight in your body, just to help me line up. And if it's not working, then I book a physio appointment. But it's a really good way to really get connected to your body. So even as I'm doing this at the moment, the first thing I can feel is that my right knee is cold. And this is a knee that I have problems with. So I know, okay, this knee needs some work, maybe some healing energy, or some physio, or I just need to maybe take it easy. It's, been overworked, that type of thing. So you really need to think about that when you're going through this stuff. And once you've finished it, you just jot down, okay, my foot was a bit cold, so maybe I'll just massage it and get that blood flowing again. Or if your whole body was feeling a bit out of sorts, maybe I'm going to book a massage or a physio or a chiro, appointment. And it just helps you really stay connected and grounded in your body, and also helps you stay grounded in the present moment, which is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. Okay, so the first card we actually drew was express yourself, cultivate your passion. And this, of course, is going back to our Wands cards that we've had in today's reading. The Four of Wands is about taking opportunity or taking advantage of opportunities. And usually these opportunities will be something to do with your passions or what motivates you. Okay, so let's have a read. Okay, so this card encourages you to pursue an area of interest or undertake a project that you've been putting off. You may have struggled to move forward, express your feelings, or summon creative energy. It is not time to hold yourself back. Settle any doubt that you are not good enough. You have something unique and valuable to give to the world, so let go of fear, delve into the inspiration, explore your passions, and learn the necessary skills to flourish in the world of your creation. You're being asked to find healthier ways to express and regulate your emotions. This goes back to the Five of Swords cards. Whether through dance, painting, massage, cooking, or other stimulating pursuits, find emotional outlets that you can engage in regularly. Healthy avenues for self-expression can help us moderate our emotions. What activity can you do today to externalize and process negative emotions? I'm going to say it again, journaling. Ask yourself this question every day and you will soon begin to move beyond them. You may also feel guided to explore your feelings around communicating with direct or aggressive people. Going back to the Five of Swords. Consider what your relationship with your parents was like when you were younger. Did you feel like you were heard, acknowledged, accepted, and encouraged? If not, some inner child work may help to heal and transform any unhealthy blockages that may have developed. Become aware of your inner guidance and give your intuitive self a voice. When insight comes, listen. Creative activity and emotional expression connect you to your body's deeper guidance. Be sure to acknowledge and act on it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is this is very much going back to that Five of Swords in connection to learning how to deal with aggressive or domineering people. And we discussed about if someone wants a fight and you don't want to, step back, extract yourself from the situation if you can. It's also talking about getting rid of that negative emotions that you're feeling. At the moment, I'm doing a course called The Artist's Way. And I have to do every morning, I have to do what they call morning pages, which is basically just doing a brain dump on paper. And you have to write 3 pages. So often when we wake up, the first thing we do is we pick up the shit that we dropped the night before. And I think I've spoken to you about doing the Harry Potter thing where you pull the thought and flip it over the side of your bed, and sometimes it's there in the morning and sometimes it's not. This card is saying, don't keep anything negative inside. Don't keep it in. You've got to get it out as quickly as possible. And so these morning pages, when I get up, anything that I've picked back up or I start thinking about as I'm getting dressed in the morning, I put them down on this page. And a lot of people will think, oh, that's not doing anything. That's not going to do anything for you at all. But actually, it's really good. It gets it out of my head so that I have more control about what I actually want to think about. And I haven't been feeling as anxious. So if you suffer from anxiety, it's a really good thing to just do 3 pages, brain dump. Sometimes I work on stuff that I've been thinking about in the course because I'm just doing it through a book. I'm not actually going to a class. And so, for example, this week I'm learning about accepting abundance back into my life. You know, like often we are creatively blocked because we don't let ourselves have those little luxuries, like, you know, a special teacup that only we are allowed to drink tea out of, or taking that half hour, you know, once a week to have a bath, or taking the time in the morning just to sit and be still and to be grateful. So I'm really loving the morning pages, but if you don't want to go that far, I know if you've got kids, it's really hard to do that sort of stuff first thing in the morning, but just carry a notebook, like just a little tiny notebook, and just carry that with you. And anytime you start to think about shit that's making you angry or upset or depressed or anxious, just get this little notebook and just write it down. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about how neat and tidy it is, because you're not going to ever read it back. You're not ever going to look at it. You're just going to get it out of your system. As a healer, I believe that the things that we keep repressed, that we keep inside of us, they start to form glitches in our energetic bodies. And the more we don't deal with that emotional or mental issue, or even, or spiritual issue, the worse that glitch becomes, and it moves closer and closer through our energetic bodies until it manifests as a physical disease in our actual physical body. So often when I have something wrong, like my right knee having a problem with my right knee, I look at, why have I manifested this problem? And I think about, well, knees are part of being flexible in our lives. The right side is more about the physical side of life, the doing side, whereas our left side is more about our spiritual side. So, okay, I've been pretty inflexible about the direction that I want to take in life. Even if I've been told go this way, I think, no, I'm going to go this way. Now, I know that I have a problem with control and micromanagement. So I know that this is causing problems in my knee. And once I deal with that emotional or mental problem and process it and heal it and get it out of my system, then the problems with my knees either disappear or they become easier to fix. So it's really important that we express ourselves. Now, just lastly on this card, talks about doing something creative. And I know a lot of you go, oh, I'm not creative. I don't have a creative bone in my body. Well, you're here. If you are here, you are a co-creator. You are creating your reality as you see it every day. So you are creative. This is talking about doing something creative to get out of your head and into your, not your body, well, it can be your body, but into your higher knowledge. Sometimes when I paint or I draw, and I'm not very good at it, but I'm having lessons and I'm absolutely loving it. But sometimes when I get into that zone where I'm just focusing on the painting that I'm doing, I all of a sudden get an epiphany about a problem that I've been having. Or I see something in the picture and I go, oh, that reminds me of blah, 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 which is a solution to this problem. So it's really important that you do creative stuff. And I'm not saying that everybody should be a painter or a drawer or, you know, anything. If you always wanted to learn the drums, learn the drums. Dave Grohl learned how to play the drums by using drumsticks on a pillow. So all you need to do is buy drumsticks. You don't need to fork out money for a big drum kit. Anything that is creative, anything that lets you get out of your head space, out of this ego-driven mind space, and into your higher knowledge and connects physically with your body, keeps you present, it's got to be beneficial. So that's something that I really want you to think about this month, is doing something like that. You know, if you're interested in photography but you can't afford the camera, use your phone. Phone cameras are really, really good. I still think a camera is the best option, but I'm a photographer, so I like my cameras. I like what they can do, which is something that the phones can't recreate, for me anyway. So just get into your body, get into your connection with your higher self, and just create. Just do something that expresses who you are within. Not who people think you are, but who you actually are. Okay, I have waffled on way too much, so much so that my tea is now cold. So I'm going to wrap that up now. I want to thank you all for being here today. If you've stayed to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really do appreciate your support. If you have any questions about today, or you want to give me your feedback or tell me of your experiences or whether this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Please put it in the comment section below, whether that's in my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. Have a brilliant July. Okay, don't let the shit get to you. And if you do, just breathe. Just breathe it out. I think we're going to be quite busy because of the wand energy here. And even we've got a sword energy there as well. They sort of overrule the pentacles and the cups. So they're a faster moving energy. So I think things are going to be quite spirited and a little bit, not quick moving, but like faster energy. So you might feel under that pressure. So anyway, for the second time, I'm now going to go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Have a great month, and I'll see you in the next video.